A lot of dynasty managers feel stuck. Every year they make moves. They draft, they trade, and you feel like you're doing what everyone says to do. And yet somehow your team is just always the same. You're not terrible. You're not tanking. You're just stuck in the middle. And that's the worst place to be. If your team hasn't actually improved in the last 1 to 2 years, there's a reason. And it's probably not what you think. And today we're going to be solving what that reason is and how to fix it so that you can get your team unstuck. My name is Caleb and welcome to the Dynasty Edge HQ, where we help you think like a GM so you can take your teams from rebuilding to winning championships for many years to come. If you find anything actionable or helpful in this video, make sure you subscribe down below and comment which of these mistakes you might have been making or what things you're doing to improve your teams or any trades you're making. I'd love to hear it, and I try to get back to every comment. And also make sure in the description I have my Dynasty Draft Blueprint, where you can get all my tips and tricks to be able to draft better in your leagues to help you be able to take your team from rebuilding to winning championships in the best way and all the best strategies that I am currently using in my leagues. So check that out in the description. Now, the real problem that you are facing, it's not about bad luck, it's not about injuries, it's not missing out on one pick. So many people blame it on one of those different things. Most people think I just need one more draft and maybe I'll hit on the right player this year, or they just need one of their players to hit. And that's what's keeping you stuck. It's just you're waiting on some type of dream chance to make things happen. You're not just rebuilding, you're just cycling. You're just going over and over. You're the same type of team. You know the team that finishes like number 6 every year, and you can't seem to make the jump. So many people are like, I'm just stuck in the middle. I can't seem to get out of it. This is why I talk about tiers so much. If you're not making tier jumps, you're just not actually improving. You're not stuck because you're unlucky. You're stuck because your moves don't have a direction. So many people don't know what direction to take, and they're too scared to tear it all down, so they just feel stuck and they make different kind of moves and they never ever improve. And so these are 4 reasons that people stay stuck in their dynasty leagues. Number 1, they don't have a direction. So many people think their team is a winning team, or they think that their team is just always in contention and they just have a very mid or average roster, and that gets in the way. Are you actually competing? Or are you rebuilding? You need to decide. There's honestly, if you're not in the top 3 of your league, you look at your rosters or you go into Dynasty Daddy and you try to see, is my team one of the top competing teams? If you're not, and if you're not close, you need to be rebuilding. Some teams can retool, but that's a very specific situation. Most of the time, you need to just rebuild. And so what you need to do is you need to tear it down, but you need to pick that direction. And once you pick that direction, all moves need to be moving towards that direction. Don't say you're a contender and make a bunch of rebuilding moves. Don't say you're a rebuilder and make a bunch of contending moves. Don't be a rebuilder that goes and buys Derrick Henry. Don't be that guy. That's how you stay stuck in your cycle because you think you have a chance to compete. Know the course, stick to the course, and allow your team to rebuild or contend and stay doing it. That's how you get yourself out of this situation. A directionless team will always drift to the middle. You're never going to be able to win if you just aren't willing to make the right moves to be able to get your team out of the situation. We all know teams like that in our leagues. They're just the same every year. They never want to trade. They never want to do anything, and they just stay stuck. Now, another reason, this is one of the most across the board things that I see in a lot of leagues is people are drafting for need. Every year we get to this draft time, they look at their roster and they don't have a quarterback or they don't have a running back, and they go, I am going to draft a quarterback or running back no matter what this year, and it's going to be my first round pick. And that's how you get stuck. If you're drafting in your rookie draft right now, you should not be drafting for need. You need to be drafting for value. What is the best player available, and draft that player? You need to be doing that. You need to be setting up tiers, not just going on positional need. You need to set up your tier and figure out, is my player worth drafting at this position? Can I trade out of this pick and get more value? Or how do I best set up my team for the future? Do not just draft for need, draft for value. And if you're a rebuilder, you're going to be trying to draft those players at the best picks that you can. If you're a contender, you're trying to trade up and get the best player that you possibly can in the draft, or you're trading out of the draft to get players that are actually going to help your team. No matter what you do, you are going to try to make every move that aligns with whatever direction your team is in. You didn't fix your roster, you just locked in lower value if you draft for need. If you draft for need, you're just locking in lower value time and time again, and your team stays mid. Stop being mid. Go and be a better team. Number 3 is refusing to re-roll values. People draft a player and then they treat it like it's their kid. They act like this is the only player that will ever be on my roster. I'm never going to trade them because I think they're going to be the top player at their position in the future. Until they're not, until they don't have a big season, until they just die on your roster, basically never having a good season. And you had like 5 opportunities to sell them because of spike games, because of free agency moves, because they got traded, and you just decided to hold on to them. You can't always do that. You can't just hold all your players. You can hold some. You can't just hold all your players and never move them. If you want your team to stop being an average or mid team, you need to make moves and you need to capitalize on value. When a player has a spike week, trade that player if they're not one of your core assets. If it's been hard to trade a player and they just got traded to a new team and it's exciting, trade that player. Make these moves. If you don't re-roll the value of players, you're just going to get stuck with a very average team. And I can tell you so many teams in different leagues that refuse to trade any of their players because they're convinced that all their players are top-end talent, and that's just not the case. It's not always going to happen. And then lastly, it's just playing it too safe. This is another mistake that people make. They avoid taking trades. They avoid taking risk. I take so many risks in my Dynasty leagues. I go after players and I just say, hey, I'm going to go all in on this because it's in my tier. It's a great value to get. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but you have to continue to move. If that player didn't work out and you can get some sort of value, trade that player. The biggest thing for me is just making a lot of moves, making a lot of trades, taking risks on players, treating them like stocks. One of my friends always says, I got good at Dynasty because I treated it like stocks. And I just saw when the value was going higher, when the value was dropping, and I just made the moves based on that. And I like to think of it in the same way. The more aggressive you are, usually helps you out, and the more risk that you're willing to take, and also the better moves and the more value you're willing to take is going to set you up for success. Safe teams don't win championships. They finish 5th forever. So keep that in mind. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not improving. Constantly be churning your roster, get yourself in the best position, see if you can tier up, see if you can tier down, make moves that you can to improve your team. And also when you set the direction of your team, go all in on that direction. Don't allow yourself to do that. Now, how to break out of all of this is, just a lot of the opposite of that is picking a direction today. Are you a rebuilder? Are you a contender? And make all your moves about it. Be honest with your roster. Look at your roster. Is that team going to win or are they not? And if they are, booster it. Make sure you get more players that you can add to that team. See what you can do. Is this a house money year? Is your team good enough to maybe compete but not win? Figure out what direction your team is in and go all in on that direction. Clarity is the most underrated edge in Dynasty. Go in on being clear with where your team is going. Every move that you make, this is rule number 2, every move you make should match the direction your team is going. Okay? Trades, picking, waiver ads, they should all match the direction your team is going. You should be really active on the waivers if you're a rebuilding team. Getting players and immediately trading them. Doing your absolute best to make all these moves. So everything flows from that direction. Whether you're drafting, if you went through my blueprint, you know that direction matters. And it makes all your decisions, you get to know where you're going based off the direction that your team is going. You make all your moves outside of that. So every move must match it. Don't be a contender acting like a rebuilder. Be honest with where you're at and make all your moves from there. And then chase value over comfort. Stop trying to feel good about your roster and start trying to increase the total value. Take a risk. Sell high on a player. Sell low when you need to before the bottom completely falls out. Don't just get too attached to players. They aren't your kids. That's your roster. You're putting money into this. You want to be able to be successful. So take take risks, set your team for success, and always look for the best value that you can get in every situation. Don't just draft for value, trade for need. Do those things and you're going to be in a great position. Trade a player you like for a better asset. Sometimes we get attached to players that we like, and it's okay to keep players that you like, but always be looking to make the best moves. I can't tell you how many times I've had to trade CeeDee Lamb because I got a better deal for a different player, or I got a player in the same tier as him and I got extra on top of it. I've had to move my favorite players over the years. It's happened, but because I did that, I set my team up for success. So keep that in mind as you make different moves. Constantly be looking for ways that you can improve your team's value, go in whatever direction that you choose to be in, and go all in on that direction. That's how you set yourself up for success. That's how you become a winner in Dynasty Fantasy Football. If you found anything actionable or helpful in this video, I encourage you to subscribe down below, comment what thing you got from this video, what way that you're going to be implementing in your drafts, and I want to see you guys in the next one.